Fam, what's up? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. We are back to back shows as Ryan Grubb has just been fired from the Seattle Seahawks after one season. What does it mean for the Alabama Crimson title? Who the hell knows? But I'd probably buckle up considering that Ryan Grubb needs a new job. And we feel here in Tuscaloosa that we need a new offensive coordinator. Let's not beat around the bush. We feel that Ryan, let me know inside the comment box right away if you would love to see Ryan Grubb come here to the Alabama Crimson Tide. We said we weren't going to do it. We said we weren't going to talk about this. We literally just ended the show, okay, saying we're not going to talk about it until he gets fired. Well, everybody in the NFL knows that Monday, January 6th is Black Monday. And Ryan Grubb has just been handed a pink slip from the Seahawks after one season. Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb had not been apart since 2007. Now Ryan Grubb is looking for a job. Well, we got a job for you, Ryan Grubb. If you want to come over here to beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Now, okay, everybody knows the rumor. So what is the rumor? Let me ask you this. Why doesn't Ryan Grubb, what's the rumor? Why doesn't he want to come to Tuscaloosa? Sound off inside the comment box. I'm not even going to say it. You know. What is it? Why won't he come over here? Everybody inside the comment box is like, his wife hates Tuscaloosa. We have never interviewed his wife. We have never heard from his wife. But that's kind of the rumor out there, is that his wife doesn't want to come. And you all know, happy wife, happy life. Now, at that same token, you know, bills got to be paid. Okay. I don't care how much you're making. If you're making over $1 million, $10 million, bills are bills. The more money you make, the more money you spend, period. All right. So I have no idea what is going to happen with Ryan Grubb, but I do know this. He is looking for a job. And I think that if he was to come back with Alabama head football coach Kalen DeBoer, I think that's what Alabama fans definitely want to see. Thumbs up if you would like to see Ryan Grubb come here to coach the Alabama offense. Now, this could all work out perfectly well for Ryan Grubb and for Alabama overall. Because of this, you have the simple fact that you have the number one quarterback in the entire country, who is very similar to Michael Penix Jr., who is very similar to Jaden Daniels. Now, that's far off. But look, if you come in here and you can start working with this quarterback over the springtime, you know, it puts Ryan Grubb in a pretty good position, compounded on the fact that you have a ton of elite wide receivers returning, right? You just added in Isaiah Horton. Everybody knows about Ryan Williams, right? You have Jalen Mbakwe now on the offensive side. You have Rico Scott. I could go on and on about the wide receivers. Now, if you can figure out the right tackle position, Alabama's offense is in pretty good shape. Now, the right tackle, you need to have a right tackle. You're not winning any games. It doesn't matter who anybody, right? Who's the quarterback if you don't have a right tackle, period. And that's my biggest concern right now. But I think that people would want to see Ryan Grubb come to Alabama. So, T, do we have something ready? All right, cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thanks for I'm live at 10 a.m. or as major news happens or as coaches get fired or whatever. And here we are. I mean, this is something that we've been thinking about and kind of track it. And here it is. Ryan Grubb has just been fired. So if you're coming out and you're just like, what's happening? Yeah, this is happening. So Ryan Grubb has been fired with the Seattle Seahawks. Okay. Yeah, we're live again. We ended the first live, and then we jumped right back on because as soon as we hit the end button, Ryan Grubb is fired. Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer were a force. And kind of if you go back to Ryan Grubb, I think I have another graphic where I was talking about Ryan Grubb a while back, talking about Ryan Grubb and kind of the history of Ryan Grubb with Alabama. And what's weird is you're like, history with Alabama. Well, yeah. Well, if you go back to 2023, he was sought out by Coach Saban to be the offensive coordinator here. And I think it's because Coach Saban knew what Washington was doing. Not a lot of people were watching Washington. Sharice is asking why is he fired. The NFL don't play. And even though they rank like what, number 14 in offense, I think there were a lot of people that just weren't happy with Ryan Grubb. This was his first time ever in the NFL. It's a big transition from coaching in college to then the NFL, right? So Coach Saban had him come. Now, another rumor is, or the speculation was the fact that Ryan Grubb turned down Coach Saban, maybe because he knew that Michael Penix was coming back and just how good that Washington team was going to be, or that he loved the Pacific Northwest and that him and his family wanted to stay there because his wife didn't want to move to Tuscaloosa. That was the first time. Now, fast forward a couple months to when Coach Saban retired, right, in 2024, and Kalen DeBoer took the head coaching job, and coming over was supposed to be Ryan Grubb once again. Ryan Grubb didn't come, and he put out. Now he doesn't put a lot of stuff out on social media, but he did put out a statement that he seemed heartbroken that they didn't give him the job at Washington. Like he truly wanted to be the head football coach when Kalen DeBoer left, right? So as it worked out for him, he was able to get the offensive coordinator job with the Seattle Seahawks. That was his first time coaching the NFL. Geno Smith is your quarterback, but you also have DK Metcalf. You have some really good running backs. You have Jackson Smith and Jigba, right? Like you have some components to work with. After one season and not finishing in the top 10 in offense, people didn't like him in Seattle at the NFL. And this is where we're at. So Ryan Grubb looking for a job, fired today. T, if you could just update this graphic just a little bit more. It's just down in the slides just a little bit more. Appreciate it. But this is significant news. I would imagine that Alabama is certainly in play here. Now, the thing is, what do you do with Nick Sheridan? How do you kind of adjust, the staff? I'll tell you what you do right here. I'll tell you exactly. I know, dude, Brian, I told you, I just said on my show that I didn't want to talk about this like 30 minutes ago. Here we are having a damn live show about it. I'll tell you what you do. Okay. I have another graphic on here where I think I showcase Alabama's coaching staff. And I'll tell you, this is what I would do. So here's Alabama's coaching staff as of today. What I would do, if this works out, you bring in Ryan Grubb as the offensive coordinator. Now, you already have some co-offensive coordinators. I don't think you change the title or anything, but this is where it gets complicated because Nick Sheridan's making 1.3. Now, you might have to tell Brian Ellis, you're going to take, an off-the-field role, be like co-tight ends coach or something like that, figure out how to put Nick Sheridan as the co-offensive coordinator and the tight ends coach where he originally coached with, right? And then you make Ryan Grubb the OC and you got to pay him like $2 million. I don't know. That's where it might get complicated. And then you're going to have, you're going to have 3 co-offensive coordinators? I know you're going to want to see just demote Nick Sheridan, but I think Coach Kalen DeBoer is too loyal to do that. He was just in Atlanta yesterday with Nick Sheridan. I don't know. What would you do? Just tell Nick Sheridan, it's been real. But let's talk about the Alabama offense. I feel that when you look to Alabama's offense, you're in a good situation because you have a different quarterback, A. The only thing that scares you is the right tackle position. But all the other components are there for you to just do your thing. And if Ryan Grubb comes in at a perfect situation, a lot better than this last year because he knew that you couldn't, bench Jalen Milroe. He was like, man, I ain't gonna go to Alabama if Jalen Milroe's the quarterback. You're gonna fire me, just like we want Nick Sheridan to be fired. So he was like, now it looks better because you come in with unproven quarterbacks, and at least you can be like, you're working on those quarterbacks. Hey, Javion, what's up, man? Is Scott coming back to or just Ryan? Javion, I appreciate the Superman, but who exactly do you mean? And if you're just jumping on, we got 539. Oh, Scott Huff, was he fired as well? I didn't see if Scott Huff was fired as well. Because I think Scott Huff also got a job with the Seahawks, right? I mean, this is all news that is coming in. But yeah, everybody's talking about it now is that Ryan Grubb is fired. And let me be honest too. Let me ask you, since we have 565 in here, just honestly, why would you like to see Ryan Grubb run Alabama's offense? Why would you like to see him come? Or has your ship sailed with him, which is totally fine. Callie Kane comes in with a really great point right here. Blaming Sheridan for Milroe's problems. Scott Huff is a great O-line coach. That's who Bama needs. Scott Huff was the offensive line coach of an offensive line that won the Joe Moore Award at Washington. Colby's saying because Ryan Grubb and Coach Kalen DeBoer have been together for everybody for since 2007, right? Oh man. So I don't know. I think what you have to do at this point in time, I would probably you gotta get Grubb here. I think. I have no idea if this guy, can he coach on Zoom? Can he just come and live here on Saturdays? I mean, if his wife doesn't want to be here, say that again, see?
What do you have to do to get her here? Like what's some incentives to get her here?
I mean, okay. Incentives to move to Tuscaloosa. All right. Well, you go to Chuck's for sushi.
No, like this isn't gonna work.
No. Yeah, the Pacific Northwest sushi for over here in Tuscaloosa.
Oh,
we got good sushi. You can go to name some incentives.
Yeah, pay the man, I guess.
Well, okay, what?
To pay
yeah,
him.
There you go. Pay him what you owe it. Leave her in Seattle.
Oh, come on.
Can he coach on Zoom? Can he coach here every other weekend?
Get her an apartment in Birmingham.
I don't know. But it's time to figure out how to get this done once and for all. You come over here and you can, I think if you're Coach Kalen DeBoer, you really need to figure out how to get this done. If you're Greg Byrne, you really need to get this done. I don't know what you do with in terms of salary. With Nick Sheridan already making 1.3, I would imagine that these guys, I know you're going to get mad, but these guys are going to get pay bumps. It happens every single year. And these guys are going to get pay bumps. I would imagine that you got to get Ryan Grubb in here for close to $2 million. Is that money going to take away some of the other money that they have? I don't know. But you pay him. What was he making at Seattle? T, can we find that out? Yeah. What was Ryan Grubb making at Seattle? So Grubb is closer to $3 million. See, that's what I was thinking, Seth. I think he's making a ton with the Seahawks.
$2 million.
Okay, so $2 million. So you have Sheridan over here at $1 million. Or 1.3 or 1.5. Damn, man. Shoot. I don't know. You got to make it. Does Yale Alabama pay coaches too? I think people would be much more willing to pay Yale Alabama for a different offensive coordinator than players, right? We'll give him 2.5. Sully, I think if you give him 2.5 and you get him over here, I think it's a done deal and you finally get him back. The thing about Ryan Grubb too is if Ryan Grubb is also a quarterback guy. So again, I'm pointing to the quarterback room. You bring him back and you have him develop these quarterbacks. This is a perfect time. You got Keelan Russell. He just moved in. Ryan Grubb just got fired. Sometimes life is about timing. All this stuff could happen on January 6th. He recruited Austin Magn. Oh, man, Seth, bringing up some great points. Love it, bro. Oh, man. So here's where we stand right here on Monday, January 6th. I would like to see him to come in. I was tired about, having to track somebody that wasn't even fired. But now that where there's smoke, say it inside the comment box. There's fire. And this is fire. So big opportunity right now for Coach Kalen DeBoer and Greg Byrne to get it done with Ryan Grubbs. Oh, there's Pearl. Pearl's good, by the way. Pearl made it back home. I didn't know that Pearl was going to make it on the show today.
Do you know how much Alabama offered Grubb before he went to Seattle?
I think it was like $2 million or something like that. Like he was definitely getting paid.
Get here. Huh.
But now, but look, if you come over here with Grubb, like the offense can only go up. Period. Right? The offense can only go up. And I think now that you have a different quarterback, You figure out how to fix the right side of the offensive line, and you're straight, right? Hey, Kyle, who did Grubb develop? Um, well, that's a good question. I think you look to the success that Kalen DeBoer has had during his career. I think a lot of it is tied to their dual philosophy with working the offense. I mean, these guys have been together forever. Quincy inside the comment box is saying coaching staff fired the entire offensive line side of the ball. The offensive line was never really able to run the football this year. But Penix Jr., you got to think is one of the marquee pieces that he would help develop. Now, a lot of that is intangibles, but you look at the polished passer that he is now. I mean, Coach DeBoer and Nick Sheridan were even watching Michael Penix Jr. yesterday in Atlanta. 440 saying that Geno Smith got him fired. Man, Geno Smith at the beginning of the season, he was doing okay. I played against him a couple of times in fantasy football. That's the only reason I know. The NFL don't play, man. So this is Black Monday. And I don't know. I kind of feel at first I thought a couple of days ago that this was just, some news that was thrown on the wall and it was sticking. But now I'm kind of feeling like there's a lot more going on right here.
I bet the exact same thing happens where he comes back here and then leaves for like another NFL team.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? I don't know. I don't know if he'll go back to the NFL though, because he didn't have success in the first year. You know what I'm saying? He might just be labeled as a college coach.
Yeah.
And that might hurt him from landing other opportunities. So I don't know. But I really hope that I think I'm going to go on record. Like, let me ask you this. Yes or no, do you want him to come back or do you want him to come to Alabama? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm going to go out and say, I want Ryan Grubb to come to Alabama. I want him to live here. Yo, I've lived here for 8 years, Grubb. All right. I made a life here. Okay. I think you should come down to Tuscaloosa as well. And I think you should help this team get back on track on the offensive side. I have no idea what you do with Nick Sheridan and how you work all that stuff out. That's, obviously something to deal with Greg Byrne and Coach Kalen DeBoer if they have to make the difficult choice to let him go, to bring someone in. Because the brand, I'll tell you why. At the end of the day, I think that Alabama, honestly, if they don't have a successful season this coming year, you're taking major steps backwards for a brand that is pretty much untouchable. And I think they're still in a good position right now. You have the number 2 recruiting class. You have the number 1 quarterback coming in. You have the entire nucleus of your defense coming back. So things are promising, but you have a very difficult schedule coming up. And if you miss the playoffs again and you start to lose momentum on the recruiting front and this becomes a school that's not cool anymore, then things are in trouble. So look, this is a very delicate situation. And I think when you look to Alabama's offense, the offense was not the offense that we wanted it to be. A lot of it and most of it was because of Jalen Milroe. Okay. But now that Jalen Milroe's gone, you bring in another quarterback with Ryan Grubb, who seems to be this offensive guru that we all have dreamed about with him and Coach Kalen DeBoer. Even look, and I'll tell you why I want Grubb. Because Nick Saban wanted Grubb. Because Coach Nick Saban. Somebody got mad yesterday because I called him Nick Saban rather than Coach Saban. So I think they call him like that, the Coach Nick Saban. King.
You get called, president forever. Like you're a coach. Do you get called?
I'm gonna call him King Saban.
He's not a knight.
But he's the greatest thing right now in college football. He should be the college football commissioner. I'm gonna call him Saban.
Commissioner Saban.
Yeah, future Commissioner Saban. Because Saint Nick, there you go. Look, I think because Coach Saban wanted him to run the offense, I think that is why I'm fully on board with Ryan Grubb coming to Alabama. I really hope they can figure it out. I have no idea. The rumor is why we have no idea if that's true or not. But I think that Andre inside the comment box, so like Kyle is simple. Take Sheridan back to tight end. Grubb is the OC. Take the co-OC away from Shepard. You could definitely do that. I just wonder what they would do with like pay grade, right? You see what I'm saying? Because he's making 1.3 now. You can't be paying your tight end coach 1.3, right? And then if you go from like that's half your salary, right? Or I mean, maybe this was all kind of a plan in place. I mean, Sheridan didn't know that he was going to be the OC when he came here, or did he? Did he know that, hey, we'll elevate you for 1 year, and then if Ryan Grubb comes back, you'll be back as a tight ends coach? And who knows? But that's a lot of cheddar that he's making. 1.3 to be the offensive coordinator over here. And please look at it this way too. While we're dumping on Nick Sheridan, he couldn't override Coach Kalen DeBoer and have a different quarterback. Right? Like, let's not forget about that. In no way am I protecting some of his calls, because the guy was all over the place at times. The only time maybe they listened to one of my shows, I was begging all season long for them to throw a screen pass. How many times did I say that? They finally threw a damn screen pass against Michigan, and it went for like, what, 30 yards or something like that. So we're watching Ryan Grubb. Will he come in? It's going to be interesting to track. So stay locked on. Keep your phones close. Turn on the subscriptions for the channel. I told you, we go live for major news. This is major news. We want Ryan Grubb. I want everybody inside the comment box, and somehow Ryan Grubb sees this when he's chilling tonight, to see how many people want Ryan Grubb to come to Tuscaloosa to run this offense. With the amount of players that are coming back on defense, and if you get Ryan Grubb on offense, holy crap. I mean, that's one thing that could turn 2025 and take this gloomy clouds away. Because the standard is not losing 4 games. I don't care who you are at Alabama. Like, we don't want to lose 4 games ever again. I don't know. Sam was like, are we going to get you a third time today? Possibly. Possibly. I got a busy ass day today too. So I got to go take the dog for blood work right now. And then I got to take Caden for his driver's license. So maybe, and then, I got Lacey has an appointment today too. So I don't know, maybe I'll be coming to you guys from the MVD today here in Tuscaloosa. So if you see me popping up from the motor vehicle division as Caden's taking his driver's test, you know that it's some serious, you know what. Stay locked on. I appreciate it. This is major. Ryan Grubb, if you somehow hear this, man, Tuscaloosa, it's not that bad, bro. Come over here. I give it a chance, man. This offense needs you. And I think it's Black Monday. Man, Ryan Grubb has been fired. Thumbs up if you want him to be coming to Tuscaloosa. I'll catch you guys as major news happens. We are watching Ryan Grubb right here on Bama Football on YouTube. See you guys.